Hi you guys, my name is Karin and today I'm going to show you guys how to create patchwork jeans. Now in my TikTok video, if you guys follow me, I did create a video making patchwork jeans. For that video, I did use a bunch of old jeans that I had. I used a dark wash, light wash, and a white fabric, and they turned out really cool. But I did want to try to do it again and maybe with different colors because I did feel like my work could have been a lot cleaner. It was my first time doing it and I want to try it again and show you guys that you can make them too. So I am going the extra mile today and I want to try to make the iconic pink and purple jeans that I have seen everywhere, the patchwork jeans all over TikTok. But the thing is, I've been to every fabric store in my vicinity and I cannot find pink and purple denim without ordering it for the life of me. So I think I'm gonna buy white denim and I'm gonna dye it pink and then purple and then show you guys how I make the patchwork jeans. I think it's gonna be a lot of work, but honestly it'll be less expensive and it'll be funner. And how cool is it to have a pair of jeans that you literally made? So with that being said, let's begin this video that's probably gonna take me all day. Okay, so I did buy all my materials at Joann's. I picked up a plain white thread, and I always buy a 7-inch zipper when I'm sewing pants. I just find that the length works the best. And then I did just get a random pink and purple dye. I bought whatever was cheapest. Now, like I said before, I did have to dye this fabric just because all that my fabric store had was white denim. I did it in my sink. I used hot water and I added some salt to the bath for both the pink and the purple. I did one at a time. I think I let each of them sit for about 30 minutes. I made sure the water was as hot as I could stand it and I put the salt in and just let them sit. And then once I had let them sit, I squeezed them out, rinsed them until the water ran clear, and I did run them through the dryer, and this is how they turned out. Now for this pattern, I did use a pair of flare jeans that I already had at home. It's really important when you're tracing your fabric that you add extra onto the end and the sides, that way you have a seam allowance. So the only thing that's going to be different when you trace them is the front part is going to have that extra zipper part, which I will show you what I mean by that. I used regular construction paper and I laid it behind. That is what I mean when you have the zipper fly. You need to cut that extra piece to line it up with a zipper. That way you have space for the zipper, or else it's just a nightmare. And then for the back of the pants, it is just normal. Just add your seam allowance. I do have a video showing this in more detail. It is the last video I posted if you want to check that out. I always label my patterns once I finish, the front right, front left, and back left, or else you'll get so confused. And then I lined my fabric up behind my pattern and cut them out. And this was the part that took the longest just because it was making all the patches and sewing them all together. So I did sew each piece together. Always sew the right sides together so that you can't see your seam. And I do add a zigzag stitch after I do the straight stitch so that they don't come apart. So you can see here I did add a zigzag stitch there just so it doesn't come apart or fray or anything like that. So I sewed it all together. Always iron your pieces flat, even if they don't look wrinkly, just iron them because it makes everything look better in the end as a finished product. And so remember, this is just the patches part. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm showing you how my seams look. I did label everything front right and back right, as you can see there, and you're going to attach your two front pieces together and then your two back pieces together. You do want them right side in, just like I'm showing you here. The right sides face each other, and I'm going to show you how I sew the front part together because we don't want to sew along the edge. You want to sew right where I'm pointing to. So I'll show you up close. You're going to stop too at that part and you're going to create a tighter stitch. So right up until here, you make your widest stitch. So you want to have your longest stitch and then you're going to back stitch and sew the tightest stitch. So this is how it looks. You've got your long stitch, you back stitched, and then you have a really tight stitch. And that's because we are going to seam rip open that part. So once you've sewn that part, you're going to add the zipper side down into that part and you're going to sew along the edge here, just like I'm showing you. And then you're going to flip it over and you're going to top stitch on the front there. That's just going to hold the zipper in place. So once you do that, it'll look like that. And then you're going to flip everything over so that the zipper is now in the middle of the pant. And you are going to sew through all those three layers, the zipper, the fly, and the front part of the pant. So I pinned it. This is how it looks from the front, and it's going to create that classic zipper look that you see at the front of pants with the curve. So it's going to look like that. It might look kind of wrinkly, and that's fine because when you put the pants on and stretch them out, the wrinkles do go away. It's just how they lay flat that make it look funny. So then you're going to seam rip it open. That's why the stitch was super long, so that it's loose. So it looks like this, and you've got your working zipper, which is awesome. I've seen so many tutorials on zippers, and this was just the easiest way for me. And then you are going to stitch the back two pieces together. I did choose how big I wanted my pocket to be, and I just cut it out and traced it. So I used 2 squares for each pocket. I hemmed down the edge so that it has a nice clean top part, and then you're going to do right sides together just like we've been doing so that you can inside out the pocket and sew them onto the back part. Now what I'm showing you here is attaching the crotch seam. I always do the inner part of the jean stitched together first, and then I do the outside edge. I roll up a hem at the end of the pant legs after I've decided how long I want them. And for the waistband, I measure my waist and I always add a couple inches, and then I cut out a really long rectangle, fold it in half, and I do add the jaggedy piece to the top of the jean so that when you fold it over, you have a nice seam there. So that's what I'm showing you in this video. And then I did add a clasp, which I also bought at Joann's. And this is how they turned out once I had my nice label on. I was so proud of them. I love them. I think they're so fun, and I hope you guys make them. They do take a long time, but they're so worth it. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Please subscribe to my channel. It does help me out a lot, and I can't wait to see what you guys make.